and right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
I was going to yell, but it's already kind of loud in here.
It's kind of loud here.
You are watching live.
Live,
Best Cincinnati Sports Podcast. This side of the Bengal Kitchen.
Bengal Kitchen.
Bengal Kitchen.
Who day? Even though it's not that day.
There's not a Who Day. We
It's
will not have a Who Day
it's a
for
filler.
another.
It's a filler.
It's a filler.
Nobody understands filler.
No,
It's a
it's filler. We're 7.5 months away from another Who Day. Right? Yes, about
Something
7.5
like that. It's
months.
just an eternity.
I'm going to run out of months at some point. I'm not going to know what to do. But we Championship Sunday today.
Flag.
We'll get to that. As
We should almost be like wearing these.
zebras.
Yes.
So we'll start with the first game. Well, as you've monikered it,
Monikered.
yes,
What's
the
that
most
moniker?
exciting weekend
Oh, absolutely.
in football.
It's absolutely the most exciting.
It's do or die. You're close to the pinnacle. We do think this is better than the Super Bowl.
I think most players get excited about getting to the Super Bowl, and I think they lose a little juice when they get in the Super Bowl.
I think that's because there's a 2-week wait.
Could be.
Personally,
It could be, but I think just saying you were in the Super Bowl is pretty freaking cool. Bengals get to say it a lot.
I mean,
Bills get to say it a lot.
I get to say
Vikings
that
get to say it.
I get to say I saw my team in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Never thought I would have got to say that, but we've made it. We'll start with who plays at 3? I don't even know.
That would be the Commanders.
Commanders.
And the Eagles.
Who are you pulling for?
Commanders.
You want the commies?
I just I like the way they play.
I do. I like Jaden Daniels.
Mhm.
It's weird that probably 7 or 8 years ago, we sat down one day and talked, and you were like, I've always kind of liked LSU. It was always neat watching them. Then you get Burrow. Then you get Daniels. I got 2 of them I get to watch now.
I could Chase also.
Yeah, well, we get Chase. But
Don't forget about him.
no, I'm just talking about the quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
But, I am pulling for Jaden Daniels. Maybe it's part of the LSU connection. I do find myself pulling for them because of Joe Burrow, but I want to see something new. And if Washington wins it, it's not one of those ones that knocks us down a peg of another team that hasn't won it because
Yeah,
they
no.
have.
The Bills were the only team to do that to us.
Yeah. So
It'd be nice to have them maybe get there and lose again. get their 5th loss
think
and
that-
extend their misery.
that entire city would melt. But with the Commanders, I do like the Eagles. I wouldn't say I was an Eagles fan growing up, but I enjoyed watching them. I liked McNabb. I liked T.O. I liked Westbrook. I loved Brian Dawkins. You know how I felt about safeties growing up.
Mhm.
I do think that's probably a pretty good matchup today. And I'm pulling for Jaden Daniels. It's not going to bother me, whoever wins that game. But whoever wins that game, I need them to be able to beat Kansas City, and I think either of them can. On the off chance that the Bills.
I like Washington in 6. I think that's a lot of points for Washington. They score a lot of points. Give them 6.
They're giving them 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot. Hello,
We're on the air. Hello,
you have milk.
Bengal mom. Bengal mom.
Bengal mom, Bengal Kim, Bengal stepmom. What do we do? Well, I don't know the math there. But I'm going to be happy with whoever wins that game just because I do like both rosters. Eagles game.
Yeah, the Eagles. Not the Chief game.
This is weeks ago.
He went a little Burrow. He's just late.
This is weeks ago. January 9th. Yeah,
You're on fire.
I know. But I am I'll be okay with whoever wins the Eagles and Commanders game.
Mhm.
I do think it would be really, really funny if the Commanders beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. just because it would be Patrick Mahomes losing to a rookie quarterback on the biggest. Oh, there's a very large dog down here who just cracked her coconut on the table.
There she is. Hey, Sable.
Hi. Moving on to the next game.
That's the one everybody wants to hear about.
I think we all know who we're pulling for there.
I am rooting against the Chiefs.
I would.
That's
yeah,
how I'm saying it.
I'm not necessarily pulling for Buffalo as much as I am hoping the Chiefs just at some point the luck's got to run out, right?
What I don't
At
like
some
is-
point.
Is my wife now says, if Joe can't get there, I'm rooting for Josh. She's on a first name basis with Josh Allen. I don't really like that.
Well, scandalous.
So it could be scandalous.
I like Josh Allen.
I don't
first and
like people
foremost.
calling them by their first name.
I like Josh Allen. I like Khalil Shakir. I think it's funny that the Browns had to get rid of Amari Cooper, and now he's got a chance to go to a Super Bowl like immediately after getting rid of him.
Yep.
I love James Cook, and their defense is fun. There's a lot to like with Buffalo. Obviously, there's the whole DeMar Hamlin thing. A lot of people in Cincinnati pull for him.
I don't pull for him. I don't pull for him.
We don't pull against him either.
He got
But-
freaking torched last week.
He did.
He got torched.
Um,
And then he was involved where he hit one of his players, and one of his players was knocked out or something. And I'm thinking, I wonder if people in Buffalo are saying he attempted murder.
no, come on. We're not doing that. I know you're being facetious, but we're not doing that.
I know. Just like going back to that moment.
It was a little ridiculous that people were
Yes.
trying to blame T.
Yeah, T. Higgins.
But I do. I will very much relish the moment if Kansas City trips up today. Whether they lose a regular game, get killed, it would be remarkably apropos if they got hosed on a bad call to end their season.
Just pay attention to the final minute, the minute and a half of that game,
Mhm.
and there's going to be a roughing the Patrick.
Running the Patrick.
It's going to happen.
So did you see Jay Morrison's stats he put out?
Yes. Yes, I did.
It's so bad. And there are guys like, between 15 to 50 quarterback hits, and they for the most of them anywhere from like 0 to 2. So it's like a 2 to 4% of the time thing. Mahomes had 7 and 150. I understand that the 150 is a volume and the 7 is truly volume because he has had that many dropbacks in playoffs. But the percentage, like 7, is enormous.
Kim was asking me. I think it was Kim was asking me this. It's a very, very legitimate question.
Mhm.
Why? Why is the NFL allowing this to happen? What is
So,
in it for the NFL?
I don't. They like to protect their main guy. They did the same thing with Brady. I mean, there were.
I don't remember this being nearly as egregious with Brady.
Oh, it was.
I don't remember this.
Well, we weren't competing with Brady either. We're competing with Kansas City now, or at least we think we are. It's bad. The NFL put out a thing saying that they're looking into, I guess, how they did with pass interferences a couple years
Yeah,
ago.
they're now going to go to an assist or
I-
something.
Here's the thing. How about we just get the call right the first time?
Yeah.
And that's a novel idea of mine.
Let's not
Let's just
not
make
judge
the
the penalty.
officiating better.
Just don't judge the penalty on who's getting hit.
Yeah.
Just that's what they do.
I understand when holding calls are tick-tacky and those happen. But a roughing the passer is, outside of a pass interference, the hardest thing to come back from for a defense. It's the single hardest thing to come back from outside pass interference. It's an automatic first down. It's 15 yards. Uh-oh. Cinnamon.
Some good stuff there. That's great for diabetes. That's wonderful. I'll have 2 boxes, please.
Fantastic. Give me 14 of them.
Did you get my thing? Did you hang around long enough or not?
Did she hang around for your thing? What?
You got it?
Okay.
I got to see if I'm dying or not.
Oh, my God.
If I'm dying, it's going to be my last broadcast or whatever this cast is called.
So this isn't the barn,
This is
Tyler.
probably not a broadcast. It's probably like a narrow cast.
I mean, they're sturdy.
That's a narrow
Um,
cast.
this isn't actually the barn. This is just the kitchen.
No, that's not the barn. No. Everywhere I live looks like a barn.
It's just
Everywhere I go.
a rustic kitchen.
Yeah.
Let's see. I meant let's go anyone but the Chiefs.
That's kind of the way it works.
What? Yeah, sorry. This isn't a barn.
Wait, what?
This is just
This is just my house.
yeah. You live in a barn.
I do. I got hair that looks like I live in a barn. You don't have hair that looks like somebody lives in a barn.
No, I got.
I don't know what you call that. You
I
should
got-
be living in New York City or something.
Oh my god. Yeah, I got a little something going on anyway.
You're on fire.
I'm on fire.
In Fuego.
Nice house, Bengal dad.
Thank you. At least it's a brick wall, you see.
Agreed. Just not Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the mantra today. Anyone but KC. We don't have to worry about broadcast maps today. I think everybody's getting the same 2 games everywhere.
Mhm.
Hi, Kim.
Hey.
Hey there.
But
Are you ready for the Chiefs today?
Hell no. They're going down.
going down. 2 thumbs down. If it's red, flush it down. Right? Is that what they say?
I think the referees today are going to be wearing red and white stripes instead of black and white. I think it's going to happen. I wonder if Kansas City fans feel a little weird.
They don't.
I'd feel weird.
The general consensus on Twitter is everybody else is just complaining.
Would you feel weird? I mean, if Burrow gets all these calls and you see nobody else getting them, would
Here's
you
the
feel
thing.
like, what the hell's
If
going on?
that was happening,
It's like
I
an
can-
alternate universe.
well, I can tell you what the narrative would be because I've already kind of lived that narrative of the Bengals surviving because that Super Bowl year they just kind of kept squeaking things out at the end,
Mhm.
right? And it was Burrow's really not good; they're just getting lucky,
Mhm.
and that's what everybody would be saying to us, and that's kind of what everybody's saying to them. You guys are getting lucky right now.
Well, they are getting very lucky.
I mean, you got to be good enough to put yourself in a position that you're constantly.
They're the only team
flag
I
away.
know that's ever survived a full season of winning all these one-score games. You know, it happened to Minnesota a couple years ago. They started off like 11-0, and they had, or whatever they were, and all of a sudden their world came tumbling down. Yeah, the law of averages just for some reason have not caught up yet with the Chiefs.
Well, then that means
they're getting aided.
that means they're going to get absolutely eviscerated in one of these next 2 games if they have 2 more.
Can you spell that?
No.
Okay.
Eviscerated.
Yep. I think it starts with an E. It
E
may not though.
V I
Don't even start.
C
Yeah.
E R
Mm-hmm.
A T
Mm-hmm.
E D.
You're supposed to say it again.
Eviscerated.
Yep. You lose the going.
How do you spell it?
I don't know. I don't care.
I
It's
care.
trying to be stupid one.
If you try to be stupid, I'm new here.
Uh-oh. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Same guy, right? First play of the game needs to be what Adam said.
I was off.
I
I was off by
direct
1
shot.
letter. There is an S slid in there.
So he's going to the Adam Sandler nut shot.
Yep, I saw
Start again.
there have been some videos of that floating around where it's like first play. Just, Why did
I think maybe 7 or 8 Bills need to sack Mahomes, whether he hits the ball or not, because they can only call one penalty. Right? You can't have 3 roughing the pass on the same play.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to hit him, make it count.
I mean,
guess.
just make him go. Blah, 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 blah.
I got a feeling the Chiefs are going to beat the snot.
It's not.
I can't read. I'm snotting too. My eyes are all blurred.
Oh, I don't think that's going to happen there, Rumble. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
This is Anispa. We figured it out. We see ya. It's a
Oh, that's a Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen to Nice. I'm not. It'd be kind of cool if it happened. I mean, no, that wouldn't be cool if it happened. It'd be kind of cool if the Bills beat the snot out of the Chiefs, but I don't think the Chiefs are good enough to beat the snot out of anybody.
No, they're not. I mean, they were able to get their ass kicked when they tried to lose, and I'm convinced that they tried to lose. Call me an idiot, call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever. Been around the game.
They obviously didn't care about winning, but
Yeah, been around the game long enough. Maybe they weren't intentionally trying to lose, but they weren't trying to win. I've seen backups do far better with much less.
Yeah, they got the worst coaching staff and the worst backups in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, they better hope nobody gets hurt today because if those are the backups, whoo! Spags is going to confuse Allen today. I don't think it matters. I think
Well,
he's
I
just
don't-
going to take off and go.
I don't know if Allen even throws passes anymore, does he? I mean, he totally screwed me in my bet last week. And he didn't run. He only had, 20 yards running? What
Yeah.
happened? What happened to Superman?
I don't know. There's
don't know.
absolutely no way they tried. No, they didn't. I'm convinced they didn't try in week 18. And I'll be convinced of that forever. I think that's it though.
Yeah, we don't have a lot to talk about.
No, there's nothing going on here.
We still got 55 minutes before. Oh no, we got 25 minutes before kickoff.
We need to finish booking and figuring out a Disney trip too.
Disney booking.
Disney
We can do that
booking.
at some point too.
Yeah.
Halftime or whatever.
Well, that's going to take more than halftime. It's going to be more than a 12-minute process.
Oh boy. What do you think, Sable? We got 7.5 months to go until we can watch Joey.
All right, tell
Yes,
me what position you want in a draft right now. Let's say free agency doesn't happen first, but the draft happens first. What do you want first?
I want a edge rusher.
Okay, pass rusher.
Mhm.
Okay. What if
I
it
think that's where you make your immediate impact on.
What if it
defense.
doesn't make sense to take a pass rusher because the board falls weird, and the next one's really like a second-round grade, and you don't really want to reach?
No, you don't want to do that.
Then what's your next if available? What's your priority? Give me your top 3 priorities depending on what's available.
Obviously, an interior offensive lineman.
Okay.
The third.
The big DT from Ole Miss. Is that
Here, I'll throw this one out there for.
Walter Nolan? I keep hearing Dale talk about.
Is it Stranger? Is he one that calls
Stranger.
kicker really?
Crypt and Stranger do.
How about drafting a field goal kicker in the first round? Because I don't trust McPherson at all.
First round pass rush or wide receiver. Well,
It depends what happens with T.
if T is not there, if T's gone,
Yeah,
I
they-
would understand that move.
Yeah, they need somebody because they have nobody. It,
Well,
it completely falls off.
It's not a good free agent class either.
Well, you just gotta get one. You don't need the whole class.
Well, there's not really anybody I would want, quite frankly.
There's nobody better than Yoshi.
It's really odd. It's not a great class. There's a lot of junk this year. A lot of junk.
A lot of junk.
What if Genty falls to us? No, sorry. I don't believe in taking running backs that high. I just don't. That's just a draft philosophy. I'm not saying that that's the right philosophy, but that's mine, especially when I already have what I would consider a top 10 running back in the NFL. I don't think that that's necessarily a great move. Round 1, I want the position of immediate impact now this year, week 1. Yeah, I would say that.
That's an edge rusher.
Gesicki is better than Yoshi. Well, Gesicki's currently not on the team. That's part of the other issue. Get me help on defense. It would be BPA. I understand BPA. I have an adjustment to BPA, and
Yeah, the best player available is a quarterback. You probably don't take him.
right. It's BPA FY. We're going to add 2 more letters to that
What's FY?
for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because, a superstar is sitting right there, if that doesn't make sense for you, you don't do that. So who's the best player available for what you currently need to do? If T's not there and, for whatever reason, one of those 2 or 3 top wide receivers fall, okay. I could understand that. I can understand a corner. I can understand a safety. The kid from Georgia is pretty good. There's not many guards I would take in the first round. If it is, it's Tyler Booker, and I'm still mad at him for beating me when my last year coaching high school football, because he was part of that IMG team that just
The machine.
obliterated us.
Yep.
So there's the good news is, and this is a good and a bad thing, and I was talking to Dale about this the other night. There's kind of so many needs that it's like just get an impact player at one of the positions.
Yeah.
If it's a guard, great. Pass rusher, great. Interior defensive line, great. If it ends up that we don't retain T, wide receiver, awesome. If we can't retain Gesicki, there's a couple tight ends I would understand. There's really not too many routes you can go to really mess it up. Corner maybe doesn't make too much sense because they got 3 corners on the roster that they seem pretty happy with. Safety makes sense.
Holder.
Holder makes sense. Punter does not make sense. We're good on punter.
We're good on quarterback.
We're good on quarterback. But
We're good at running back.
pass
We need some
rusher,
depth, though.
pass rusher, interior defensive line. I don't think I would take a linebacker in the first round, but you're going to need a linebacker this year.
Al Gold might be screaming for one.
Wow, there's one that's going to get cut. I'll tell you that right now.
Right?
Yep, gone. So linebacker is going to be in.
I think
need.
it's going to be interesting to see who they bring back. Because you got people like Hilton. He's a question mark. they're going to bring him back or not.
Dan, your son talked me into us not drafting Ivan Pace. Listen, I have a personal vendetta with Ivan Pace.
I think Ivan Pace is a really good player. He just plays far beyond the whistle. At least he did in college for UC. He hurt UC at times.
Yeah, I can remember. This is my issue with Ivan Pace. I was coaching at Princeton High School, and he was at Coleraine. And there was a time where we were getting our ass handed to us. So I'm already not in a good mood. And we were kneeling the ball to end the game. I hate being in a situation where I am kneeling, just waving the white flag. But that was the situation. You know, we were down multiple scores. There was like 12 seconds left. It didn't matter. Just there's no point, kneel. And when we were kneeling, Ivan went over the pile at the kneel and speared my quarterback helmet to helmet when we were kneeling at the end of the game. I understand that's something he did when he was a high school kid. But I also watched him for 3 to 4 years at UC do the same shit. And I've seen him do a couple things at the NFL level. It's perfect. It's not to that effect, but that's what it is. It's dirty. It's after the play. He's incredibly talented. He's a great hard worker. But
Just a little out of control.
yeah, I mean, he was a problem, and I don't like it. I don't like that here. Period. So that's why. And then last one here, Tanner McLaughlin. Does he play this year? It's going to depend on Eric All. Is Eric All healthy? Because he's coming off a torn ACL. Because I think everybody's kind of forgetting him right now. There's unfortunately so many question marks up and down that roster going into next year. Luckily, you've got the hardest one squared away. You've got receiver, running back, quarterback, center, and 2 offensive tackles squared away. I can work with the rest. Offense, if they've got to piecemeal that thing together, I'll still feel comfortable. Defense, I need 2 interior defensive linemen because I'm not sure about Chris Jenkins. I'm not sure about Jackson. B.J. Hill's a free agent. Sam Hubbard's probably not going to be here next year. Miles Murphy has not shown that he's a starter yet. Trey Hendrickson, God knows what's going to happen with his situation. I've got 1 linebacker coming off shoulder surgery, another one that's probably going to get cut. I've got 1 corner with a torn ACL. I got 1 with a broken clavicle. And I've got Cam. I've got maybe Jordan Battle starting at safety, and Geno Stone, who knows what's going to happen with him. The whole defense is kind of a shit show.
That's a giant question mark.
I've got 11 question marks on one side of the ball right now, and I don't like that.
Hey, Al Golden, welcome to your nightmare.
Well, at least he knows these guys. He's not going to have to get familiar or watch film. He knows what he's got with their there. I mean, he drafted half of these guys. Most of them, actually. The only one that I think he's unfamiliar with would be Geno Stone, and he coached against him. So,
Did we sign Chase yet?
I put it out there every day since the start of the year.
Just checking. Optics.
Could
Optics. Looking bad.
Al Golden develop Miles Murphy? Because I've heard he's good at that. Lou wasn't great at developing. That's kind of the hope. He has a reputation for developing players. Murphy's definitely somebody that, he's the right age. He's got a couple of years experience. He's a fantastic athlete. He's smart enough. He works hard enough. I just think he's very raw. He definitely needs that. If you could get him to click and you've got him and Hendrickson, then, as many guys as I can get to develop and click that are already here, the less work I have to do. So that'd be a bonus. I'll put it that way. I don't anticipate it, but it's a bonus.
I don't know much about Al Golden, but I did hear him talk to Dan Horde for a while in an interview.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you can just tell when people are talking out their ass and they're really not knowing what they're talking about.
No,
he doesn't strike me that way.
No, he knows what he's talking about.
I think he's a very structured coach. I think he knows what he wants. I love when he talks about disruptive plays and explosion and
Mm-hmm.
the way his defense can help the offense get the ball back. I like the way he thinks. Never really heard Lou talk a lot about that kind of stuff.
Lou's not a huge talker.
This guy seems a lot more aggressive. I don't know if his play will be that way, but
It's the
his thought
same
process is.
It's an almost identical system, but system and play calling are 2 different things. But we'll leave it at that. I hope everybody has a good day watching football. Game starting about 45 minutes, but I'll hear about half an hour.
I think they start in 15 minutes. I think
Do
it starts
they?
at 3.
It starts 3:30.
I think it's 3 and 6:30.
I thought it was 3:30 and 6:30.
Can we talk to Siri? Hey Siri, what time do the Commanders play today?
The Commanders play the Eagles in the NFC
Oh,
Championship.
shit. All right, 12 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta get our bets in.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.